Hello. Okay, so this is the introduction to my three-part series. I'm probably going to call it Context to Flipping Out. There's a very likely chance I will have changed the name of the podcast by the time it comes to post-production and putting it out. But right now, that's the derech of it. So at the time of recording this episode that you listened to, this first episode, I didn't know that I was going to make it a three-part series, but as it progressed, I sort of knew that I knew I was going to get, my aim was to get one or two or three different people and give their stories and backgrounds, but the more I thought about it, the more I wanted a certain structure. So even though I say contradictory things, the plan, literally in a couple of seconds, when I started the podcast with Andy, I wasn't planning to do it that it was like this, a three-part episode, but I'm going to do one episode with Andy as Shana Bet, one episode with two Shana Aleph Brits, Joel and Aaron, and then the final episode of the series is going to be with Eitan Adler and Madriche. So it's going to be just giving different stages of yeshiva life and just giving context to flipping out and what does that actually mean to flip out and why people flip out and why people think it's a negative thing, why people think it's a positive thing. So I'm just trying to give a brief idea behind it. And also, I know I say in the podcast in a couple of seconds, I'm going to say this, that there's going to be a couple of episodes that come out before this. I know I say I probably will change it. I'm actually changing it. So these are going to be the first episodes of the series. And just slight context as well to why I'm releasing them now. Is that, or how I'm even releasing them, is that even though I am in Landers College, which is in Queens, New York, in America, I came back for the Chagim I know I'm going to briefly explain this again, I came back for the Chagim to Israel, just back to Reishit, which was where I was in yeshiva for 2 years, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to give some ideas of the people while they're here, and just allow you to get within the mindset of someone who is in these different stages of yeshiva and just give context around it. So I hope you enjoy this episode. This is number 1 of 3. I'm not sure when I'm going to be releasing them, so you're going to probably see when I release them, if I release them once a week or twice a week or all at once. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, enjoy. I'll be speaking to Andy. Alright, so welcome to Shmoozing with Avi. This is technically the first podcast that we're ever going to be doing. We are currently in yeshiva at Reishit, Yerushalayim. Even though this will come out probably later on, I actually thought, so fun story, I decided 36 hours before to fly to Israel for Yom Kippur. So here I am. I've got Andy Elbaum here. Andy was my Shana Aleph when I was Shana Bet, and he very kindly agreed to do a podcast with me. So we're going to go a little into it. Because this is technically the first podcast, you're going to see it's going to be a bit wavy. Sometimes there'll be pauses and stuff like that. We'll pick it up as we go along. I've got a list of my questions here. I'm obviously going to try not be referring to it 24/7, but just to know a natural flow of the things. So firstly, thank you for coming here.
Pleasure.
Very much appreciate it.
Big podcast.
Yeah. Bro, this is crazy because I'm seeing Andy here, and when I was in Shana, when I was in the beginning of my Shana Bet, and seeing Andy in the beginning of his Shana Bet, it doesn't even compare. Just talking about your Shana Aleph in general, as in for you guys, they were all Corona yeshiva boys. It's a very big deal. You guys don't really fully comprehend that just Corona made your year different. I don't know if you can see with the Shana Alephs now, but
for sure.
They're different.
And Ben Asmanim, you could tell.
Literally, so Ben Asmanim, we're just we're hearing everyone's yeah, we went to Shalvata, or they're yeah, we definitely went in Tel Aviv, Okay, sure, buddy.
Our Ben Asmanim, I was having sheer in the auditorium with our valley.
Legit.
He would go every single day.
We had Tikkun Lel, so we just came back from we woke up half an hour ago, whatever.
Something like that. It's 3:30 right now.
Yeah, it's 3:30 just before.
Shmini Atzeres.
Yeah, it's intense. But we had all night dialing last night. But this time last year, we also had all-night learning, but the bass was popping, because, like, no one had anything else to do.
I was talking to our back. We had
Yeah.
10 guys in the base this morning, and
Yeah.
he's like, this is a normal year. I'm like, but last year we had 50 guys
Yeah,
here.
it's crazy, because, like, Corona just, it made it so that it wasn't yeshiva who was, like, basically telling you guys you got to stay in. It was just the government said you're locked in, you have nowhere to go. So you're like, okay, fine, I guess we learn. Like, like what else do we do? Like,
just learn, play ball, and sleep till
exactly
till you have to learn.
But I'm saying, if you look at the chevra now, like, genuinely, the chevra this year, there's what, 67 of you guys or something, 57 of you guys.
Right now there's 57. We started with 60.
So, that's like
another kid coming next week.
Yeah, who's coming?
Ifrigan.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So you don't understand. I came like, what was it? 36 hours before Yom Kippur. I look around the base and, like, I'm seeing every single guy that I knew from my Shana Aleph. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. My like, I don't know if you remember my Shana Bet. My Shana Bet was like 40 guys maybe. Like, in like a month in it was 30 guys. 2 months in, after January, it was like 15 guys. Like, we depleted quickly. Here you've got like 57 guys, strong chevra. Everyone's like, we've got 2 black hats here as well, which is like, it's very unheard of for like the beginning of Shana Aleph. For the beginning of Shana Bet, like, that is crazy. And like, a lot of it is because, like, there was a lot of intensity. There's a lot more, like, push to growth. So, like, I just want to understand, because I don't know if I've laid this out. Hopefully I will have laid this out later on, like, earlier on technically in the podcast. But, like, the whole point of this podcast is that I'm trying to show that everyone, like, people look at flip outs and they're like, okay, look at these guys. They go to Israel for a year. They get brainwashed. Like, that's not how it happens. It's like, it's a year of, like, usually we would say, like, 2 years is the normal thing for some guys, but sometimes it's like 1 year. But, like, whatever it is, you're going through so much. Like, you're spending a whole year just on yourself, just growing, just thinking, connecting to, like, most people are coming in and they don't have, especially, so Reishit, would you consider a Kira yeshiva, like, for Shana Aleph? Yeah?
Ish.
Yeah? Like, as in, coming in this year, I would say 56% of the guys aren't keeping Shabbos, correct?
Yeah, something.
Yeah? So, like, we're going to go into Andy in a sec. I'm just, like, giving the brief, like, background, but, like, most guys coming in here aren't, like, keeping anything, and they're not coming out. It happens to be your year was different because they came out so, like, strong already, but, like, most guys, it's building that foundation again and stuff. So, like, I guess, well, I'm gonna try, like, bring it back a little bit, and just, like, before you came into Shana Aleph, like, firstly, what was, like, which high school did you go to?
The Frisch.
You went to Frisch?
Frisch school. Now the Frisch yeshiva.
So of course they just changed it so that I heard. Okay, I'm starting to,
like,
like,
junior year it became the Frisch yeshiva. It was a big hawk.
But it's a boys and girls yeshiva.
It is boys and girls. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a yeshiva but for boys and girls.
Yeah, it's geschmack. Very learning.
But so, like, there were, like, what was the mahalach there? Was it like you guys were, like, modern Orthodox? How did, like, most people were keeping Shabbos there? They were, like, what was the background of families?
Well, we had 200 kids per grade, and now it's, I think, 250. It's
Whoa.
huge school, great
Yeah.
place. So you have a big range. You have families who are not keeping anything besides Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Then
It's in the 5 towns, right?
No, it's in Paramus, New Jersey.
That's okay, got it.
Tina guys,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of area, that chevra. So you have families who are barely keeping anything, and then you have families on the other spectrum that are very from. So it's a big range. Kids come from everywhere. Kids are at total different levels, and it's just overall it's good vibes.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
You enjoyed it there?
Yeah, I loved my time there. It was 4 years, great rebbeim. It came to Reishit, all-star rebbeim, Frisch also all-star rebbeim.
Yeah.
Thank God I had rebbeim at both levels. I'm still in touch with a couple of them.
So when you were in Frisch, you were, like, you were keeping things? Like, what was your...
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, like...
I mean, I kept kosher and Shabbos all throughout.
Was that because, like, your family were, or was that because...
Yeah, my family set great foundation.
Yeah.
And I always had it in me. I always had the spark inside of me.
Yeah.
Just, like, why, like, I didn't see a point of, like, going on my phone or Shabbos or, like, going to, like restaurants when I'm in Teaneck. I have every single restaurant in the world that I want. Why would I go out to...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just great vibes.
I have to say that's like very lucky, because for a lot of the guys, they had that struggle. Like that's like the first thing that they've got to build on. So like, it's amazing. Like they. It was,
I
like,
already
this
had
one
to step
thing,
up.
yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah.
So would you say like your friends and stuff, they like in Frisch, were they similar level? What was the?
So I had a bunch of different friend groups, but my main friend group, some guys didn't keep Shabbos, some guys didn't keep kosher, but for the most part, Shabbos there were great Shabboses. We'd play ball, go to shul, just hang out for hours and hours, hang out every single Shabbos. Like there was one week there was like a span of like 7 weeks. I was at my friend Dean for 7 straight Shabbos. Like
Really?
Every junior year, I was at his house every single week. Like I would knock on the door Friday afternoon, and his mom would be like, "You're back again?" I'm like, "Come on, I live here." It was great. But yeah, I had such a good chevra. And then I had also a different chevra. They all kept Shabbos.
Yeah.
More of a Tina chevra. Yeah, it was good.
And like, how was the like side of like girls and boys? How was that like? Was that frowned upon? That was just totally normal that everyone like would be together. Like, what was the your rabbis ever spoke to you? Like, how was it?
No, I mean it's a mixed culture. There's no differentiating boys and girls.
Yeah.
Hang out all the time. More junior and senior year than freshman year and sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
More senior year definitely than junior year. Senior year and Frisch, when I was a junior, I didn't really understand what senior year was. All the seniors would be like, everyone hangs out, like there's no more cliques, like all this. I'd be like, no, you're crazy. Like I'm not hanging out with that kid. That kid's not hanging out with me.
Yeah.
And senior year comes, and you're like, I'm at this kid's house that I've never been to before. It's just like everyone's friends, and then like next year we're not gonna be friends anymore. Like it's all weird. But
So for foreigners here, senior year is your last year.
Senior year is
grade
the
12?
last year. Yeah, grade 12.
Yeah.
And then most I think it was like 85% of the grade came to Israel.
Yeah.
And others went to college. But yeah, senior year, everyone's friends. There's no like only this amount of people come to my house. No, it's like I'm inviting people over. Text the grade chat like who wants to come, and everyone's friends.
Yeah.
It was great.
So you said like some of your friends are in college right now. Do you speak the ones who didn't go to yeshiva with you? Did you speak to them at all? Like are you still
other yeshivas or
no?
didn't go to yeshiva?
I'm saying the ones who didn't go to yeshiva. Did you
So,
speak to them? Are you close with them?
I didn't really have any friends that Stam didn't go to college. That didn't come to Israel.
Yeah.
So some went to Bar Ilan.
So it was very usual for like people to go to Israel for like a gap year or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, my friends in college now, we talk at least once a week. I was texting with my friend. I was up all night last night learning.
Yeah.
And I text my friend at 8 in the morning, I'm like, you want to talk right now? He's like, dude, like, go to sleep. I'm like, that's what I say to you. Yeah, it's great. We talk, we try to talk as much as we can. It's hard because different schedules.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has work when I have work, and like, but it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try structure this a little bit. Before you came to yeshiva, what was like? Did you know what you wanted to do? Like, did you have like were you going to yeshiva like with any like idea of what would you do while you were in Israel and stuff?
I came to Reishit. So that was one of your questions.
Yeah.
Reishit, Israel. I came and I had no clue what I was getting myself into, and two, what I wanted to get out of the year.
Did you come in with any like preconceptions or?
No, not really. Like, if you look at my application for Reishit, like you have to write an essay. And my goals were to learn the land of Israel, to be able to learn after Israel. Like I didn't know what that meant. Like I didn't know. Like this summer I was in.
We're just saying things for like the sake of saying.
Yeah, like I was like okay, like cool, like I'll be able to teach my kid Gemara, but like I didn't know what that really meant. Like the summer I was at first when I got home I was learning in the Bnei Shurim base, with the Charusa, Sam Ben-Haim, shout out to Shana Bet. Like we learned every single morning together, and then I went to Morishah, learning track sports stuff, and I learned every morning also. And then after I didn't have a Charusa after that. After I got home from Morishah for 2 weeks, and I had to learn by myself. And thank God for Reishit, I had these roots and I was able to keep it going. And then I got back here, and it keeps going. And afterwards, I just can't wait.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like when you came in, like, were you looking to learn? Was that do you think that's because I've got what was your learning background before you like
in Frisch?
Did they learn anything?
Like, I mean, like technically I had Gemara here, but like
in like
Gemara class, but
I
didn't learn that much. I was just texting. I actually texted my junior year rabbi last night because we technically did Sanhedrin that year.
Yeah.
And I saw him this summer, and I never opened up my Gemara.
Yeah.
And this summer, but the first gives you free Gemaras.
Yeah.
They give you a Gemara at the beginning of the year, and I never opened it.
Yeah.
And then we learned Sanhedrin junior year, and this year we're learning Sanhedrin. So I got home, and I'm like, let's start Sanhedrin. But I knew I had one, so I went to like my closet. My dad helped me find it. I got out my Sanhedrin. I went to B'nai Sharon base, and B'nai Sharon's it's a shul if anyone doesn't know. And my rabbi was there. I'm like, yo, Rabbi, let's learn right now. He's like, no, you're kidding. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? And we sat down and we learned for an hour. And the smile on his face, like he told me after, like, he shipped so much nachas. So I texted him last night, after Leil Shana Rabba, I'm like, Rebbe, I just chazed the first 10 blot of Sanhedrin, and he's ecstatic. Like,
is that not the craziest thing? Like, to think that, because it's very hard from the outset. Like, that's like the thing that I'm trying to portray. That it's just like when on the outset, like, to say like I just chazed like 10 blot of Gemara. Like 10 blot of Gemara is like what 20? It's 20 pages.
4 hours.
Exactly. That's 4 pages. But like when he's saying like he's chazring it, he's going over it. He's really like he's understanding like the different nuances. It's not just like I'm able to read and translate it and just
talked about that last night.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So we had very powerful like Musa Seder. So like a very Musa is basically just like heartfelt, just like explaining like the hardcore facts of just like I don't even know how I would explain Musa. Like Musa is just like it's giving you
uncovering the truth.
Yeah, I feel like there's
it's giving you like the inspirational speech to keep going.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's kind of telling you the hard truths and like giving you inspiration. Yeah, exactly. Giving you inspiration. And so we are having that we as people who learn, like, we don't really know, coming from like the backgrounds we do, we usually right now we're still learning how to translate. That's what our learning is. But like I assume now, like especially your year, I would consider being like worth of 2 years. Like my Shana Bet was like, as in my Shana Bet was just your Shana Aleph. Like that, so like your growth was incredible like through that time. So it's just the feeling of like going through 10 blood of Gemara. Like this is stuff like you work, like even let's just talk about it on like a general level. Like anytime you work hard for something, you're going to feel like connected to it. You're gonna feel like very like strong in like what you're doing, and like you're gonna like you feel like the sense of accomplishment. So that's like what you're doing. Like yeshiva isn't just, it's like they're like believing God exists, like whispering in your ear trying to brainwash you. Like it's telling you like you can work hard, you should work hard, you have a life that you can do, you can build it for yourself. Where like you're really coming to explore like who you are and stuff. And like I see it like every day, like when I'm walking around, like these guys know like to a level like who they're coming to be. Like you have a reason. Like when you wake up every morning, like do you feel like you had like a reason? Like what kind of like, I know this is like a
what's my
intense
with waking up?
I know this is like more of an intense question, but like your connection with God, like Hakadosh Baruch Hu, how do you feel that's like developed over this year?
So definitely in high school, like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, they've always been my favorite day.
Mm-hmm.
Days. Kumzitzes, I've always felt it there. So I've always had like that, like I started Tish this year, Thursday nights. I don't know if you know.
No, I
We started on Thursday nights. We started after Rav Benovitz's Parsha year.
Oh really?
Yeah, I can show you videos. Schmack, like 50
awesome.
guys pull up.
That's crazy.
Thursday nights, because there's no, like, we didn't have it. Like last year, like you guys didn't say, you guys.
Yeah.
So we need for guys who don't really want to be in the base after 11:20 on a Thursday night, but still want to feel that Shabbos coming in. So me and a couple guys, we started a Tish on Thursday nights. Ella's mom we did every week. This mom will probably do every other week. But 50 guys, Shana Aleph guys keep texting me like, yo, when's the next? The kid wrote in the chat last night. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
At around 5 o'clock, he wrote, "Is there a Tish tonight?" No one responded because there wasn't a Tish.
Yeah.
But kids have texted me, can I sponsor a week?
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can I do that?
But just shows like how much connection like you get by singing. By
right. And just 50 guys in a room sharing Divrei Torah, sharing. 1 week, the first week we did from like 11:40 to like 12:30. Next week we did another like an hour. The week after we went, I think it was 2.5 hours. Kids keep texting me, can I sponsor this week? Can I sponsor that week?
Crazy.
Can we start doing this? Can we start doing that? I'm like don't talk to me. Like this is open. Like the point of this isn't to be one person running a tish. The point of this is everyone share Torah, everyone share their connection to dive into Hashem. So like I've always had that side of me, and it's just been coming out more. It's just like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur davening, where they were awesome.
Compare it to your last year's Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah davening. How do you say like
last year specifically?
Yeah.
Should we talk about last year's Yom Kippur?
Oh, I didn't even remember this. Yeah, go on.
So last year's Yom Kippur, last year's Rosh Hashanah, they were great.
I mean, let's just say these caravans were very much in use.
So I was playing ball on Motzei Rosh Hashanah. I get back to my room. My friend texts me, "Do you want to order Burgers Bar?" Yeah. Get into our room. Our Burgers Bar is there. It's Sunday night, so my room is the projector room. So we had 20 guys in there watching football. I walk in sweaty, and my drink follows me in with a mask on. I'm like, oh no. He's like, if we talked to him before, Ifrigan, he was in the Caravans over Rosh Hashanah. Like, just that's a positive. And you guys are in a suite. So everyone's got to leave the suite. And you guys are going into quarantine into the Caravan.
Wait, so a kid was over.
A kid in our suite over Rosh Hashanah.
I remember there was rumors over the whole Rosh Hashanah.
Over the whole Rosh Hashanah.
Everyone's like, yeah, if Gun's in the Caravan, like he's quarantined. Everyone's like, nah, he hasn't got corona. Like,
whatever. He's not feeling good.
And like putting in like corona in yeshiva. Like,
we hadn't left yeshiva yet.
Yeah, we literally we were like.
We were in a bubble.
We were stuck in, like, we couldn't leave. It was like 3 months in. They had like 2 weeks of quarantine within the dorms. Just like we'll go into that a bit, but like there was like crazy stuff. So like
so you guys got into quarantine. We're like, no, like this is stupid. Like we all feel fine. Like I was just playing ball. I was sitting next to a kid in the base Rosh Hashanah. There were 20 guys in the room. Why don't they have to go into quarantine? We went into quarantine. The next morning I wake up and like at like 3 p.m. because like why else am I waking up? And I have a headache, and it was a fast day because I have a headache. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fast. I'm sweating, but okay, I'm in the Caravans. Then around like 5 o'clock, I'm like, okay, like I have a crazy headache. I'm gonna break my fast. And I'm like, this Caravan is so hot. Like, what's going on? So I text my drinking. I'm like, like we got switch Caravans. There's no AC. They come in and they're like, it's freezing in here. I'm like, nah, you guys are crazy.
Oh no. A repeat of last year.
In the Caravans. So after the fast, Rav Donnie came do some magic to my Caravan show with us. Rav Donnie's the best. We'll talk about him more over that week.
We'll just give there's 3 Rabbeim who are like Rav Ari, Rav Eli, Rav Donnie. They're like the 3 brothers who like are in charge. They're like the Rosh Yeshiva, the Mashgiach, and their father is also like runs the building. So this is Rav Donnie who is.
So Rav Donnie was actually my dad over that week. He came and did magic, and he's like, come out. I'm like, I can't come out. I didn't know Rav Donnie so well. Like, he was my afternoon shir Rebbe, but we had 2 days of shir. I didn't know if he knew my name at the time, but he knows everyone's name, so he's like, come out. I'm like, Rebbe, like, I can't come out. He's like, why? I'm like, I have a crazy headache. He's like, oh no. I'm like, yeah, like, he got me a thermometer. I had a 101 fever.
Whoa.
So, good thing they put me in the Caravans.
Yeah.
So I had corona.
After that, it like spread, like
it spread also, like that.
Because for all of us, like we heard everyone like suddenly dip to the like they were like, yeah, we put a whole suite in the Caravans, and we're like, okay, like this is so extra, like everyone's gonna chill, like
he was just playing ball, they were just watching football. It was just
like it's such we thought like it was just like everyone was like being so extra about it and stuff, and then slowly but surely, like everyone, like one by one.
Every morning, a new kid would walk into the Caravans for breakfast.
It got to the point though that it was just like all the so we have like I think 7 or 8 Caravans here.
You'd probably sleep like 30, 40.
Yeah, so you can sleep a fair amount.
We had a good minion. Let's just say that. I mean, we didn't have a minion, but if we wanted to have a good minion,
if they wanted to, they would have had a minion. So they like at one point they were just like completely full, and like people were like. Seriously,
people were trying to get into the Caravans.
Yeah, but like also everyone was like trying to get in the Caravans because like they were like, yeah, once you're in the Caravans, then you can get out of quarantine earlier. Because they did like a mass testing for us, but like the guys in the Caravans, they had it like earlier, so they could have got out of quarantine like earlier on. So everyone was like trying to get in the Caravans and stuff, but like by the time come Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur was.
We were out.
So by shot, Yom Kippur was I want to say.
So it was.
Yom Kippur was a Monday, Sunday night, Monday. I want to say.
Why if Som Gedalia was Sunday?
Som Gedalia was Sunday. So yeah, so
Was it not 10 days later? Oh yeah, you're
Sunday
right.
night, Monday, yeah. So Shabbos, by Shabbos I was feeling better, Baruch Hashem, thank God. My roommates weren't.
Did you have your taste and smell?
What?
You had your taste.
Yeah, I never lost my taste and smell. It was mostly just headaches, cold, runny nose, everything I have now.
As you can see, that's why we're back.
Yeah. No. So Yom Kippur comes, and like my mom's like telling me like you can't fast. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I feel fine. My dad's like, you can't fast. My bubby was very machmir. He's like, you can't fast. Whatever. I talked to my Rebbeim. Yeah, they said if you feel fine, you should fast.
Yeah.
Yom Kippur night, headaches already started again because I wasn't hydrated, so I was drinking shirim every 10 minutes.
So explain shirim, what the...
Yeah, so there were different ways of how you're feeling, of how you shouldn't break your fast. My roommate was just stopped drinking Gatorade, like, not shirim, but how it worked was I had a small shot glass. It was less than a shot, and every 10 minutes I would drink Gatorade.
So the way to get around Yom Kippur is that technically, if you're drinking less than a certain amount, what we're calling a shirim, it's not considered really drinking or not really like consuming something. So the way they did it was like if every 10 minutes you're having this, you can you still technically fasting, and then you can do it. So just so that's what they were handing out to like everyone, like especially in the caravan.
Yeah, they were handing us sugar water, how it worked was usually Reishit, I saw this year Yom Kippur davening is the highlight of the year. Davening isn't based clearly, but
it's
last
usually
year
also it's
packed in.
Yeah, it's packed in. There's like 100, no, probably like 200.
This year we had
people,
almost 200 people for sure.
But this year wasn't even
because
firstly they didn't allow usually alumni come in with their family. Like usually Yom Kippur is like the highlight of people's year. Even if you're not so into it, you're seeing people Yom Kippur is just about connecting you and Hashem. I think you can have the guys that are joking around and stuff like that, but it usually is that's when you can see everyone really connected, and that's usually the spiritual high. You're obviously gonna have the times where you're just I'm starving, hungry. This doesn't connect me. It's meant to be that impactful thing. It's
so
Corona last year.
Davening was outside. Most of the people davened. There's 2 levels to the outside. There's a porch overlooking.
Yeah,
most people davened on the lower level, and the Corona guys were on the top level, looking over. So yeshiva shamal, yeshiva shamata, really hit. So Kol Nidre, Marav that night. I didn't really feel it. Yom Kippur is my favorite day. As I said, it was still my favorite day last year. But it was the worst Yom Kippur of my life, and it just I didn't feel no connect. Ravelli says a story. It's like if you're a thinking Jew on Yom Kippur, you can't eat. You're not gonna feel it. And he's right. You really don't feel it if you eat and drink.
Yeah.
So davening was outside, and then the next morning they did a Sika minion in the Caravans. It was 100 degrees outside. Ravari.
Well, I remember that.
Ravari killed it.
It was they did started at 6, no, 5:45
started at
6. Yeah.
Finished at 10.
No, it wasn't even. It was
not
finished
even
by
at 8:30 or something.
It was 8:30. We already finished most stuff.
Yeah.
It was
they
and then
Ravari did another minion, and then Mincha again was another. It was 110 degrees by Mincha.
But
Ravari did 2 minyanim.
Can we just appreciate none of the very few of the Rabbeim actually got Corona. Rav Ari never tested. He's got his vaccines now.
Donnie lived here.
Yeah.
Donnie moved into Reishit because he couldn't go home because his family had Corona. He had to take care of everyone.
That's what people don't understand. Yeshivas, they sacrifice. They're coming in with their whole families and stuff. They're sacrificing so much just to help the guys.
When I was talking to guys last year, should I come to Reishit? Should I come to ex yeshiva? I'm let me yeshiva for the most part comparing the 2 yeshivas he was comparing, for the most part they're the same. The guys come out the same. But look at Corona. Rav Dani moved into Reishit, and look at the other yeshivas. The Rebbeim weren't anywhere there. Rav Dani, I said he was my dad during that week. Every single day he would come. He'd go to the makolet for us.
They had their family.
BK would come here. He would learn in the 100 degrees outside with me.
Yeah.
It was literally. They became our parents.
They sacrificed so much for you. They just.
Where do you think I got the Gatorade from?
Yeah.
I didn't have Gatorade.
Exactly.
Went to the store.
They're locked in their caravans. Also, what you want to understand is mentally being locked in the caravan. It's very hard because you are secluded. Even though yes, they were allowed out here and there and stuff, and quarantine got broken very often, but it's very mentally draining, and you need someone to be around and having.
Look at when we were quarantined in the dorms for 2 weeks. We couldn't leave the dorms. Originally, we couldn't leave the room, whatever. couldn't leave your dorms, and every single morning, every single day and night, you'd have a full morning seder, afternoon seder, night seder. The Rebbeim would come in, they would do a round robin, an hour shir for each suite. It would be an hour shir for each seder would be 3 shurim, and there would be 10-15 Rebbeim at every seder. And like guys like Rebbeim coming in during Corona, like in quarantine, like the other yeshivas were on Zoom if they were lucky.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like we didn't really want to learn at that point, but just to see like the Rebbeim would come in, like
they
didn't know if we had Corona or not. We were in quarantine, but they came in every single day.
Yeah.
Prepared, and it was also great because you got to see every single Rebbe, and something you might never get. I'm sure you didn't hear a shir from every Rebbe.
Yeah.
And we got that in the first week and a half, 2 weeks.
That's like one of the things that I say like are very lucky is there's so many specific Corona experiences that you guys got, just like that allowed you guys to connect in.
Yeah, like we were able to get out. Then January we were back in for 6 weeks. Then we get out. Then
it was literally like
Purim we couldn't. Purim was shulash. We couldn't go to Yerushalayim.
Yeah, that like they missed out on a ton of things.
They did Purim in yeshiva. You know how absurd that is. Like the yeshiva doors were red.
Yeah.
Like
it was a pretty fun time. So what would you say was like your best memory of like just thinking back like of the year, like last year? What would you say was your best memory?
Like if I had to pick one?
Yeah.
It's a crazy question.
That's what we do in Shmoozing with Avi.
Give me a better question.
Okay, so as in
go deeper.
Oh,
good question.
So as in, what would you say was like the highlight of your year last year? Something that's like really stuck out. That's like
a specific subject, like learning outside the base. Like,
something that like really like affected your year, I'd say. As in, like, could it be like even if it was like a trip with friends?
If I didn't have that one experience, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Maybe not that. Just more. I mean, we can get into that, but like more just like that sticks out. As in, like that was something that just like really like it made you like think to yourself. That was, I guess, fine. We're going down this route then. Fine. Like that really made yourself like think that like, wow, this is like the MS. Like what we're doing right now. This is like the MS, and like this is what I want. And like even though like as in there's challenges, but like what was it like that really was? So I kind of shifted the question a little bit. So now we're going down this route.
Yeah. All right. I mean, well, morning seder every day at Rav Valley.
Yeah.
Great Rebbe, Baruch Hashem. He inspires guys every year for the last 27 years.
So Rav Eli's just he's one of the
Mashgiach,
brothers.
28 years now. He was my Shana Aleph Rebbe, still my Rebbe now. He's very inspiring. Great Musar every single morning, like an Amarim. And he just shows you like what it means to like be a good Jew, and how it, like you could be normal and just be. He taught you how to play ball and just uplift your basketball, uplift your Xbox, uplift your workout, uplift every meal that you're at. Just like to take something from nothing and just bring it up. It's just like I think he said it was one like an Amarim. Like an Amarim was a saved by Rabbi Yaakov Meir Shechter, based on Rabbi Nachman's teachings. And we were learning about making brachas on food, and I was never a big bracha guy. Still working on it. Bracha Rona's definitely working on that more.
So just to point out that like you saw, that's like that is what yeshiva is. It's constant growth. Like I'm saying, no one's
like some guys come in yeshiva knowing how to say brachas and everything. Like I'm still learning. Like I'm open to say it, Shana Bet. I'm still working on my bracha Ronas, my bracha.
So that's, by the way, remind me, that's a huge topic I want to talk about. The Shana Bet mentality is like a huge thing, but like, so yeah, we've been going for about 30 minutes, so we'll see how it like wraps up. But I was saying like, it's such a year, like you're constantly growing. Like it's a huge part of growth is admitting like there's still stuff I've got to work on.
Yeah,
like, you're not coming out one year like just.
Shana Bet knows everything. You get here and you're like, I know nothing.
Literally, coming in like Shana Bet is just like it's such.
It's a stigma.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll finish what I'm saying. We go into it, but and he said, like, you have this bottle of water right here. You have the Jolly Ranchers. And it's just there. It's nothing right now. And if you make a bracha on it, you can lift it up. But if you drink it without making a bracha, then you just let
like
an opportunity just go away. You let the water that could have been uplifted,
like, everything has an opportunity.
Everything has a purpose. I was talking about it with Rav Ackerman last night, 4 a.m. He was, me and him had a chavrusa. We were just talking about lifting up everything and not letting everything be null. You have an opportunity, like, we were talking about Beis Manim also. You could, as you said, Shana Aleph guys do what they want, Shana Bet guys do what they want. Like, I went to Shara Bet one day with 20 guys, 15 guys.
Whoa.
We went to Yerushalayim, we bought
Was
presents.
this after Rav Eli's Mesa?
Yeah.
So Rav Eli, the Mashgiach, he gives Mesa every Thursday night, and one of the things he said,
He said, like, what do you want to do with your Beis Manim? Do you want to, like, sit in the base? No, you can't sit in the base all Beis Manim. Do you want to go to the beach? If that's not what you want to do, if you don't want to hang out with these people, it'll feel good if you do chesed. So go to Shari Tzedek, buy some presents, go to the children's ward. It's exactly what we did. We brought 15 guys, went to Yerushalayim, spent money on presents. We probably had, 15 guys. We had 50 presents probably.
wow.
And Baruch Hashem, there's not that many guys, not that many children in the children's hospital in Shari Tzedek. So we got to Shari Tzedek at 12:50 Thursday afternoon, whatever you want to say, and they didn't let us in.
Really?
We called them in the morning. We said, "Can we come?" Yeah, you can come. They didn't let us in. We sat outside for an hour and a half trying to get in. All the nurses were like, "What do you mean you can't get in?" They were fighting with security. Finally,
Corona or
they said it was. I don't know. The nurse, the security woman, she was having a bad day. Whatever. That's what it was. And she saw a bunch of guys with presents trying to make someone's day good, and she was. I don't know. Maybe she was jealous.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Lamaisa, after 10 nurses trying to get us in, we snuck in.
Yeah.
Shari Tzedek, I'll say it on recording, we snuck into Shari Tzedek.
You horrible people.
Yeah. And we went around to the children's ward and to see the smile on these kids, like this kid without hair, cancer, this girl who was pried up against her, she was her family was a family from, I don't even know, and then the next room over is this Arab family, and she's like, everyone just, it's heartbreaking to see the parents just have to go through this, the children, and to just bring like $20 worth of presents, just one kid, it just makes his day, and just makes his year, and just, there was this kid in the children's ward, everyone kept giving his presents because he was just happy and happier every single time, so someone's like, yo, you should go give that kid, so I'm like, all right, like I have a Spider-Man, why don't I go give it to him? And I walk in, the nurse comes over to me before I give it to him, and she's like, don't give it to him. I'm like, why? She's like, save it for a different day, because he already has so much. You see the smile on his face. If I just give it to him in like 2 weeks from now, you know how much it would do for him? So that's what we did. She wrote his name on it, and in 2 weeks, he'll get the present. I mean, hopefully he won't have to, hopefully it'll be out, but he'll get it in 2 weeks, and he'll get that another revival.
Is that thinking of like, also, this was like a crazy thing I had, like, when you're going in there, it's very easy, like, you feel great.
It's very easy to do for yourself.
That's the thing. You, like, on the base level, that is what it is. You're doing it for yourself, and, like, there's nothing wrong with it.
As you said, we were out there for an hour and a half. They're like, you could just give us the presents, and that's what we did. Yeah. After an hour and a half, we put our presents, they were finally like, all right, you guys can't come up.
Yeah.
So we put all of our presents in a shopping cart.
Yeah. Sent
it up to the 7th floor, and then we tried sneaking in.
Yeah.
So, okay. After an hour and a half, we didn't want to give up. We gave up, but then we tried getting in, and we got in.
Yeah.
But like, okay, like we bought the presents for the kids. We didn't buy it for ourselves. We wanted to go up because we wanted the experience for ourselves. But at the end of the day, it's for them. So we gave them the presents.
It's not
like we could have went to a different hospital.
Yeah.
We thought about it. We're like, no, we should Shari Tzedek. These kids deserve the presents. So we gave them the presents. But and I mean, it definitely hurt a little. Like, I spent $100. Thanks to my parents also. Spent $100 for these, like, to get that experience also. I was like, send me pictures. I'm like, nah, I can't have pictures to send. Like, But at the end of the day, like, just to have that feeling after of these kids, like, there's one kid who was so happy. He's like he was shivering. He was just so happy.
Really?
It's very touching. I'd recommend it.
For them, like, that was one of the things, like, I tried to do Hask last year, and then Corona happened, so they didn't let the Brits in. Like, that was one of the things, like, I see, like, all the guys coming back from Hask. That's one thing, like, Hask is like a camp for disabled for families with disabled kids.
Autism,
and they give
Down syndrome.
They've got, exactly, they've got all different problems that these families need help with. Like, the Jewish community is so filled with chesed. Like, it's just incredible to see, like, it's so easy for people to see the bad side of it, and of course, in everything you're doing, there's going to be a bad side. I'm saying in Islam, we're seeing terrorists have like chas v'shalom, like these things like happen, but you're not seeing the guys who are like such kind people. Like how many people are follow the Islamic religion? Like probably like 2 billion or whatever. We're seeing like 10% of them happens to be, that's a lot of people, but we don't see, like, that's what's very hard. Like a lot of people just don't see the good and, like, that is pushing. You see like a single moment of someone doing one thing, and that's how you judge, but you don't see how much is going into it. Like this, that one time going to Shari Sedek, that's going to have a huge impact on like who you are as a person.
Everyone, all the nurses, the Chiloni, the guy comes over to me, he goes, like, where are you from? I'm like, New Jersey. Speaking Hebrew, I was trying to, and he's like, what are you guys doing? Like, he sees 50 guys with presents. He's like, I'm like, we're going up to the children's ward. And he was broken.
Right.
Someone else come over and was like, he's like, you guys can't get in? Like, what are you talking about? You can't get in? Like, you guys came here to do chesed, you can't get in? Like, it was just people from all backgrounds just looking at us.
How did that Arab family take to you? Was there?
The kid that kid was probably the happiest kid there was.
Really?
Gave me a hug after.
Yeah.
And like you see these religious Jews walking in to give all different back. There's one woman, a different Arab family.
Yeah.
They were present. They didn't say thank you, whatever. Like,
yeah.
it is what it is. Like, they're going through tough times. You can't judge
Yeah.
anyone. And like the same thing. Like, it's just it's awesome. Just the
You guys, I
can't even get the words out.
Yeah, I see. Like, it's just, it is incredible. You get to see like so many things. You get to experience.
You're singing V'samachta v'chagacha outside, trying to get in. Like, people like we want to do a mitzvah. Like, people see it. Like, look at these boys. These
you have
Americans.
An opportunity as well. Like, to do such a kiddush Hashem. Like, that's like one
I
of the
could
things.
I could have done anything else with my dad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's one of those things. Like, in your Baina's money, you could have had a good day. You'd stay in the base like all day. Like, that would have been a good day. But like, in 20 years' time, are you going to look back and say, oh yeah, that was a great day that I had in the base? Or are you going to say that was the most
incredible moment? Or when that little kid with that teddy bear in 20 years from now, he's like I got that teddy bear from when I was in the hospital. Like, I still have that teddy bear, like, that I had when I was a little kid. Like, when he had, like, brown bear, shout out to mom. Like, when that kid has, like, that squishy thing that, like, like he just looks at it like, okay, like, I went through that, but thank God I'm here now.
Yeah, but Zat Hashem, they still have full shlema. Right, so the other thing that, just moving on slightly again, so I just want to go back into, like, differentiation from Shana Aleph mindset and Shana Bet mindset. Like, what would you say has been a big thing that's changed your mindset between, like, coming in and where you are now?
Right, so I had a schmooze with Rav Eli, I want to say October of last year, like, right after, maybe it was November, I don't know. And he said, like I was from the beginning, I was always in the base. I didn't, whatever, I was in the base. I didn't really know why. I was just, I was never a bum also. Like, I couldn't, at home, like, Corona killed me because I can't bum out. Like, I would always wake up 9 o'clock. I would put on tefillin. Like,
you don't realize, like, how lucky you are.
Yeah.
I personally, my natural being is to be a bum.
I hate Baina's money because I can't bum out. I just can't do it. So he said, like, why are you always in the base?
Yeah.
Well, he says this to me, and I said, because I'm only here for 1 year. So, like, I'm going to get the most of my parents' money out of it. They didn't send me to lay in bed or play poker in the dorms at 4 o'clock. Like, I'm just, like, why would I waste a year of my life just doing that? So I always have that mindset of I can't be in bed.
Yeah.
I mean, over the year, the things changed. I started learning my second Megillah, started in Daf Yeshua, but ultimately I did it by myself. Finished it, made a sim at the end of the year, which was awesome. Many more. Thank you. So the mindset just changes of I can't be in bed to I want to learn. I had a chavrusa with Rabika every day. I want to learn Olam Midos. Then I have Rav Eitan Katz. I want to learn that. I want to go to morning shir. Like I'm not gonna miss a minyan. Why would I miss a minyan? Like, and then like the mindset just keeps changing of from bumming to I want to do this. It's not that I want to miss this. It's I actually want to be there. Or like I have to get a daf done today because I want to make a sim in 2 weeks from now. Let me come in during the break because I know I'm not going to be able to learn during this slot because I have this, or my friend's mom's taking me out for dinner. Like, you got to get, like, you have to actually plan out your day, and it turns out to, like, you want to accomplish something, and you want to just get better at learning and to learn more about everything because, as I said, I thought I only had 1 year. Thank God my parents let me come back for a second year.
What was that, like, do you have a specific moment, or do you have, like, a gradual point of when you, like, decided to come back to Shana Bet?
It was definitely very gradual. As we were talking before, Ravelli's son Booch,
Yeah.
We're good friends. And he said to me yesterday, he goes, when did you, like, flip the switch? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, you just came back. Like, it just happened. I'm like, yeah, it just happened. Thank God. Someone else, the Shana Aleph kid, he's like, you're so normal. Like, everyone's normal. What do you mean?
That's the thing. You come back and you have to stick in, like, coming into yeshiva. Like, I had to think, I was like, imagine being one of those guys, like, never these guys saying Shana Bet, like, they have nothing to do with it. Like, you see it as, like, something that's, like, a negative thing. Like, you don't see it as, like, something that, like, you're actively choosing to do it because, like, it's like you want to, like, you can see that being helpful for you. So did you have, like,
that one moment?
Like, not even, like, a moment, like, something that, like, really made you think, I think I want to come back Shana Bet. It's okay if you didn't. It's like,
no, I definitely had that moment. I definitely had that. I need to come back. I think it was mostly like, if I'm going to I was going to Maryland originally. It was very machmir on it, going to Maryland, and then for a moment I was going to Baruch. I'm like, why? Like, whatever. Let's just go to YU. Like, all the guys are there. If I'm going to YU anyway, I might as well just everyone in YU could stay. So why not?
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely wasn't the reason why I came back.
So can I ask, what was the decision not to go to
Maryland?
To Maryland.
I was always, I went to Maryland a couple of times for Shabbos. I loved it. My brother's there. He loves it. I was always like, okay. My sister, I have a twin sister. She wanted to go.
You have a twin sister?
Yeah, I have a twin sister.
I didn't know
Shana
that.
Bet and Harova.
Oh,
she was
wow.
in TVA last year.
Wow. We can do Jewish geography after this.
Yeah. So, and then I'm like, if I don't really want to party that much anymore, or I could get what I want to get out of Maryland and YU, like, I'll have the connections in YU. The Maryland education's better, but all my friends will be in YU. If I want to keep learning, YU is really the best place for that. And it was just overall, like, I wanted to be in that religious environment more. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Like, being to YU and stuff, have you, like, seen the culture that you know?
I was always going to Maryland. Like, it was always Maryland.
So you never I've
been to YU, like, Sarachek.
I guess you've done, like, basketball tournaments.
Yeah, I've done basketball tournaments. I've had Golan, like, the famous.
Yeah.
I've been to the YU base once on a Thursday night with Frisch.
That's so like, funny because, like, in London, we don't have, like, that same culture that you go to, like, a college and stuff that, like, experience all of these. I guess YU is such a big.
I went to NYU a couple times. I went to Maryland a couple times.
Yeah.
I was going to Binghamton and then Corona hit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear. Wait, because Binghamton's like party central, then, no?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Because what? And then, what do you mean you were going to Binghamton? I thought you said
visit for a weekend.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh, yeah. So we went.
I didn't even want. My mom wanted me to go visit it.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go.
So I got confused for a second because I forgot. I was thinking about, like, my Shana Aleph. We had Corona and then we all got sent home. Right. And so, like, for a second I was, like, thinking, like, you were in Shana Aleph and, like, I forget the timeline gets very confusing. A lot of the things get, like, meshed together here. I hear. And then how do you, like, feel when you see, like, the Shana Alephs coming in at the moment and, like, seeing?
I'm excited.
But I mean, like, seeing them with all these problems, like, it's like everyone's talking about their girlfriend, everyone's talking about, like, partying and stuff like that. Does that, like, how does that affect you now, a year later? Like a year ago, I assume, like, you're having the same.
I was the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same.
Same matziv. No, I mean, I'm trying to be my shpia on the guys. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
Like, shmooze with guys, learn with guys. I have a couple of cabrusas, but no, I mean, I want them to take the path that they want to take. Like, I'm not gonna. Like, someone was like, how'd you do it? I'm like, I'm not. Like, this is you. Like, I'm not you. Like, everyone's different.
That's what people also, they expect it to be like you're here. And
Justin always
here.
talks about it. Yeah, Justin, my good friend, Shana Bet. He always talks about, like, he would always do Shana Bet guys, like, come home, or Shana Aleph guys after they get home and be like, how did that happen? Like, what was that one switch? And it's like, it's not like a one switch, just the mindset just keeps piling on. It's just, like, it's just gradual.
Yeah.
If you have that one switch, it's not healthy, because odds are if you have that one switch, you can have that one switch back in a minute. So it's got to be gradual, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And, do you recognize, like, anything within, like, these boys and stuff? I assume you know, like,
I know a lot of them.
Boys, yeah?
Yeah. I know probably like 30, 40 guys.
Do you see it in them that they're
they're looking.
Oh, they have
to,
the same questions that everyone has.
Yeah.
Like, it's.
Bro, that's what I find very fun. At the time, it's very easy to get like stuck in. You're like, no one else has these questions. I know these are like my personal
and the
questions.
very
Like,
I've seen it before.
Yeah,
like everyone.
but they're like, yeah, sure. You're just saying like you've seen it before. Like, no, like,
yeah,
I hear it. Like, but like I'm speaking. So like the Brit culture here is also like very like I feel like I don't know if you felt it so much last year. In my Shana Aleph, it was like very much. There was the Brits and there was the Americans and there was like a separation. Last year was a bit more like intermingled and stuff.
Right, because we had quarantine.
Exactly. So like you guys, that's the thing. Like it's very hard.
Like the Shana Aleph guys, like did you guys have cliques? I'm like, I mean, obviously there were cliques, but
not. You guys meshed together.
Yeah, because we were stuck in the dorms for 2 weeks. We were stuck on campus for more than half the year. Like, if you weren't gonna hang out with everyone, who were you gonna hang out with?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, like I need these people for off Shabbos. Like there were no off Shabbos. So like. Everyone was just like friends.
Yeah, that's like I'm hearing. So like going back to like them all saying like we're at Shabbat last night and stuff like that. Shabbat is like a club in Tel Aviv and stuff. Yeah. There was no one saying they were there. But like it's so funny to like see that mindset because like thinking back to like a year ago or 2 years ago for me like. How much has changed within you? Like it's like it is genuine change as well. That's what like I find very interesting is that like you can have those guys that it's very like on the outside they'll wear certain things just to like that's not saying that it's not real, but like for them like the most important thing is the exterior like showing how they are. But like one thing like Reishit's Mahalach I feel like is like a lot more. It's like within you. Like they don't put a Haredi mindset. They don't put like a modern Orthodox mindset. They happen to every so often. So I was going to ask you about this. Have you noticed that like often they will like they'll use modern Orthodox. They'll say, oh yeah, like classic modern Orthodox. It's like sort of like in a degrading manner, but like it's weird. I've only noticed it like recently. It's not doing it to degrade modern Orthodoxy because modern Orthodoxy done correctly is great. It's done to show you like what you're calling modern Orthodox. You like going around with a girl. That's not what Rav Shechter, I believe. Yeah, Rav Shechter who started modern. Yeah. That's not what he had in mind when he was saying modern Orthodox. I'm saying they're bashing like what we're in our mind is calling modern Orthodox. It's funny that like I noticed that like recently now when you're saying that. I can't remember what the tangent I was going on for. Do you remember what I was No. Okay.
Shana Aleph guys.
Oh yeah, Shana Aleph guys. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, we'll start finishing up in a second as well.
Any other main points you wanna?
So I was gonna say, I'm just gonna.
Any other good questions that you wanna attack?
Yeah, I've got
in
my.
Next 10 minutes.
So we did thoughts on college. So I was gonna go into like. Hold on 1 second. So as a Shana Bet, so I want to just briefly touch on the Shana Bet mindset. So as a Shana Bet, like, what would you say coming in is like
a goal?
So go into that in a second, but like, what is the like challenge that as a Shana Bet you have that like you didn't expect to have as a Shana Bet, and like compared to your expectations as a Shana Bet, like where did you see yourself being here, like that kind of thing?
Challenge Shana Bet is definitely everyone thinks you're a lot greater than you are, and everyone expects a lot more from you than what you can handle.
Do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean both, because it pushes you out, but at the same time, like, I mean, thank God for me, I'm pretty. I know where I'm at. I know what I could do. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses, which is very good. I think everyone should sit down and figure that out. But it definitely doesn't hurt. It definitely hurts a bunch of guys. There are definitely guys struggling right now because everyone's like, "Oh, you're Shana Bet. You can't do this. You can't do that." But like, no, that's not what they're at. Like, some Shana Bet guys can't do that. Some Shana Bet guys could do. Like, everyone's at a different place. So throwing the Shana Bet stereotype is just, it's not fair to some guys. Like, oh, like the kid didn't do well Shana Aleph, so he should be at the same level as the top Shana Bet guy. Yeah. So that definitely hurts a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
They got for me challenges. It's just I was like last year I learned Gemara, but not being not like I had morning seder and I did Megillah on my own towards the end of the year,
Mhm.
but like I was listening to recording, like I wasn't like really just.
Yeah.
So this year I have 2.5 Gemara Seders, Siddharim. So just fully diving into that is definitely a challenge. But it's a challenge I'm ready to take on.
So I was gonna ask also, like, do you, like, coming from your upbringing and just like how you were, like, do you have like a challenge, like when you were home, for example, like did you like struggle with like being back like in that culture again? Like, do you feel like a bit like lost or anything, or did you feel like very safe there?
I loved being home.
So how do you feel like?
I kept a note in my phone of
yeah.
to make sure I learned every single day. I missed one day all summer.
Yeah.
That's
incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a reminder every single night, like write down what you learned and what I missed one day. Because I was hanging out with friends. I picked up friends up at the airport at 6 a.m. and it dropped and we went to sleep at 2 a.m. So it wasn't like
yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I could have found time to learn if I really wanted to, but whatever. It's one day.
Did you struggle with like being around girls again? Was there any?
I didn't really have any friends that were opposite genders. I mean, I was in more Shah this summer.
Yeah.
But I didn't really hang out with girls.
Okay. And like that was an active choice, or it was one of those things that?
It was both. It just, I mean, actively in more Shah. Like my work was on boys' campus. I'd go to lunch. I'd eat my lunch and I'd go back to boys' campus. Like, it wasn't like I'm gonna hang out. Like, I didn't really care to hang out in the canteen. Like, I'd rather hang out with the guys.
Do you find that that's a weird mindset change? That like.
I mean, it's definitely weird because last year it definitely was.
Yeah.
But it's
like
not
I'm saying, like surely growing up, like girls are the ikka, like the most important thing. Like that's everything you're doing.
I mean, it's not weird because that's what I want. So like.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it's weird. Like I'm not going to the canteen. Like it would be weird. Like I wanted to go play ball. I wanted to go learn.
So I want to like get through it. What did you say? That's because what I want. What exactly do you want? Like.
I don't know.
Like,
I mean,
religious,
yeah, that's
like,
a weird. I don't know what I want.
I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think anyone knows what they want.
What's like? You're saying that's not. You clearly know what you don't want, but like, why?
Right.
Why is that not what you want?
I found more joy in hanging out with the guys and playing ball, or hanging out with younger guys and schmoozing with them, or like at night. Like my nights consisted of. I finished work at 6:30. Went to mincha, dinner, mariv. I would learn with a kid coming Shana Aleph. Then I play ball. Like that sounds like a sick night to me. Or I go play Xbox or do other things. But like it wasn't like like I finished Seder at 10 o'clock at night. Like I would to then like go out and like hawk up. Like I wasn't like finishing Seder to then like it's weird. It's really massive.
And that's what's very funny after Yom Kippur. Straight away on the chat, like they're like, yo,
let's go to
share
bed.
it to Benny Hunter right now. It's like it's fine, but I think that's just like just shows like the growth is so like it doesn't like from looking at Shana Aleph and Shana Bet they look so far away, but just it's a natural growth, and like that's I guess what I was trying to portray this whole time is that just like everything's very like linear. It happens like you got to work, but like it's not like anyone's breathing down your neck saying you can't do this. It's like you're usually exactly you're choosing this, and you have in Shana Bet as well. You have the different ends of the spectrum. You have guys that don't want to come to anything, and you have guys that want to go to everything. And like you have like there's different spectrum, and everyone's on their own level of growth. Like it's a very
like I'm struggling with different things than my roommate is. Like it's just everyone's got to focus on themselves and
But it's just incredible because it's like it's an environment that everyone's like it's such a growth environment. It's very rare to find, as far as I know, in like even in other cultures that like you're in an environment where it's very much just a year just to grow on yourself. Like imagine like that's why I do think like you can be you have the people that are such just good normal people because they've had time to work on themselves. Like as our Rav always says, like your wife's gonna be different, your Shabbos table's gonna be different, like because your personality is different. You're coming in like not a different person but a changed person to like who you came in, and like
values.
Exactly. That's the thing. You're doing everything based off values now, not because of things that you just want for instant gratification. Exactly.
We just did Kohelet the other day. The Ramban says that. I just throw it on the Torah now. He says that.
That's what this is all about.
He says the ikar of Kohelet is to not focus on, not chase after pleasures in this world.
Exactly.
So
anything that's under the sun is tachas shemesh. They're saying like that's the whole point. That it's just like even within like Judaism, it's showing like we're samachta v'chagecha, like you're meant to be like so happy and rejoice in Sukkot. But even within that, like on the Shabbos, they're bringing us kohalis and saying to us like, listen, yes, you can rejoice, but like remember what's the ikka here. Don't just get carried away. That's what a lot of this is all about. Just remembering what's the most important thing, why you're doing everything, and right. On that note, shkach. I really appreciate you coming on.
It was awesome.
This was really, really interesting.
Can't wait to listen when I work out.
Honestly, like I'm very much gonna. So hopefully this is gonna come out soon. Was it 58 minutes? Okay, it's just under an hour. We're done. So it's gonna come out a couple weeks after, I assume, unless I just post this first time. In which case, I guess this is the first. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, hopefully more podcasts will be coming soon. I'm gonna try and get myself a proper setup. So I apologize if the audio wasn't as good. Like we'll see what we can work on it. We're doing it all on Andy's phone right now. But yeah, it was very much a great podcast. Really enjoyed it. Shkoyach Andy. Shkoyach.
Awesome.